Hi everyone, Queeveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. In today's video, we are going to yet again take a look into the far future for some interesting events. We will be looking quite far into the future this time, decades and decades into the future, not just later this year or in a couple of years, as we've looked at in the past couple of videos. So we're going to hop all the way to 2067 and we're going to stay in July and just hop forward a few days to the 15th, or hop back a few days to the 15th of July. While we're moving forward through this time, I will mention a slight correction to a previous video. I called the full moon in July the strawberry moon when that is actually the full moon in June. So the July full moon is the buck moon or the hay moon, and I guess hay kind of counts as a sort of harvest as well if we're stretching things a little bit. So we're here forward to the 15th of July 2067. Yet again, I don't know exactly what I'm looking for other than the fact that I am looking at Mercury. Now, in this particular instance, I have been told a little bit more. As you may know, sometimes I am told what constellation to look in. This time I have been told where to look from. But before looking for this event from the suggested location, I just want to have a look and see if I can see anything of note, anything in particular from our location here in Ireland. Of course, we're looking forward to 2067. We're looking very far into the future here. So, of course, this isn't a near prediction for anyone. It will take a while for this one to come around. Taking a closer look at Mercury here, we don't notice too much. Of course, from here in Ireland, we're seeing it with all of this glow of sunset. If we were at the North Pole, well, we may see this a little bit differently. Of course, it's midsummer, so it should be summertime at the North Pole. But we will take a look. Of course, it's very close to Neptune there. We can see it's in this really interesting area of the sky with all of these nebulae. We'll very quickly check those out while we're here. They're too interesting to ignore. So the Monkey Head Nebula, fair enough. A lot of these nebulae, as I always say, they don't have names that necessarily reflect what they look like. This one is unnamed, it's unlabeled here, which is a bit of a pity. It's given the name ICC 444, so that's its name in that catalogue. But I was told to look at this from the North Pole. So that's where we're going to go. To be fair to the suggestion, it was to look at Mercury at this date from the North Pole. So let's hop very quickly to the extreme north. I don't think I can click. Yeah, I don't think I can click at 99 degrees north. I always need to push it just a little bit further to get all the way to the top. So let's change that to 90 and we'll have to change everything else to 0. Otherwise, I think it will roll over and go down south or possibly further away from north. Let's see if that works. Yep, seems to work. That seems to be allowed. So here we are. We're in the North Pole in July. We've gone forward today, so let's hop back and we'll very quickly move through time because it's July. It's not midsummer, but we are at the North Pole, so it absolutely does look like, yeah, the sun is up for the entire day, as one would expect. So we'll stop it there. We'll come back to the 15th, the date in question, and we'll zoom in to take a closer look. Well, there's Venus. I do think Mercury was a little further away from the sun than Venus, so it's a pity that it's not coming up immediately. We'll have to take away the atmosphere to see it. There it is, much further out, way out there. And it does, okay, it is in a very, very close conjunction with Neptune. So we'll check just in case. Oh, hopping a day, that's moving far too far. We'll see just in case we are getting a conjunction with Neptune. We are. So there we go. Now, this is a pity. This conjunction between Mercury and Neptune looks really cool. We'll take a closer look so we can see it in a bit more detail. Yeah. Neptune looks so tiny compared to Mercury, despite the fact that Neptune is this huge ice giant and Mercury is this tiny little planet, smaller than some moons. But there we are, seeing Mercury directly in front of Neptune and seeing this really nice almost half Mercury as well. Makes it look particularly visually interesting, very easy to lose track of as well. Clicking on Neptune here instead. Yeah, and this is running at real time. So of course, we're incredibly zoomed in here, which makes things seem to move a little bit faster. But this is Mercury occulting Neptune almost perfectly. Almost perfectly. So that was time running backwards. This is time. That was time running forwards. This is time running backwards. But I do think, yeah, it's not. Oh, it's not quite a perfect occultation. I think maybe if we were a degree or two south, just exactly a degree or two south, it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot testing this out. We'll go a degree or two south and we'll see if we can get them to line up perfectly. So we'll move down just a little here. We'll go to 89. Now of course each full degree is actually a pretty big distance. Okay, it doesn't seem to have made too much of a difference there. Each full degree is a reasonable, yeah, going the wrong way. So 90, that's the best that we can get, like that, which is great. That is, of course, still really nice. I'll see what happens. It shouldn't make any difference if we're exactly at zero everywhere. Then that shouldn't make a difference. No, it doesn't. So it looks like this is the best we can get. The only way to move from 90 degrees north is to move further south. As we go further south, as you can see here, we're only losing portions of this occultation. If we go all the way down to 80, you see it's much harder to see. So this is an almost perfect occultation, as perfect as it can get, as seen from the absolute northernmost point of the world. So that's Mercury and Neptune. Now, of course, we're not going to see that from here in Ireland. We already took a look. We're not going to see Neptune and Mercury occulting each other because of the globe sunrise getting in the way. Oh, I'll just return to the default location like that. That works. So there they are in the sky when they're perfectly occulted, or when they were perfectly occulted. When we were at the North Pole, we can see that they are significantly separated there. So this is going to look better the further north you are. But the further north you are, the more likely it is for the sun to be too high in the sky. We know that we're going to have to move to get both of these objects in the sky this close together while the sun is at this height in the sky. So we want to move further to the west, because further to the west the sun hasn't risen yet. That's our way of sort of moving the sun backwards, as it were. So we'll just hop right over to Newfoundland there. Not far enough, we can see the sun is still above the horizon. We'll hop way over to the opposite coast of Canada, and we're nearly there. We're pretty close. Yeah, somewhere around here, maybe Alaska. Here we go. This at least has Mercury and Neptune over the horizon when they're at their closest. Nearly when they're at their closest. We'll move time a little bit here. Pretty good. We've moved a little further north as well, but because we're so far north, that also means there's a good chance the sun will be too bright. It's not, technically. It's not too bright to see Mercury, at least. As we take a closer look here, it should be too bright. Well, okay. It's revealing Neptune to us here, but I don't think that's going to be very achievable from here on Earth with anything like a normal telescope. With that much orange-yellow light in the sky, it's going to be a bit too difficult. If we move closer to the equator, and we'll see where are we here, and see, I'll just drop this down so we stay in a straight line. It may have seemed to have kicked out there, but a straight line down on this map. Of course, the convergence point up here, the way that the map distorts the lines of latitude and longitude, it means that going straight down, and I know we're going straight down because I just changed the numbers, it's going to slightly change our apparent position as well. They're below the horizon now. They're below the horizon for this location, even though they were above the horizon a little further up because it was northern summer. We're going to have to change time if we want to be able to hunt down exactly where we were. In instances like this, a back button would be handy, a way to jump back to a previously gone to location. We'll do this a little bit slower just so that it's a little bit more obvious. We'll go down to, let's say, 49 to start with. There we go. So you can see the sun's getting more under the horizon, and Mercury and Neptune, it's probably hard to tell, but they're almost starting to come more vertical in the sky. But they are still getting lower in the sky, and that's because of the tilt. So we can see there was a big jump down of the sun and Neptune and Mercury. So even though we are as far around on the Earth, the time of sunrise, the local time, is a little bit different because of the tilt. So we're getting things a little bit earlier, a little bit further north. Now, this is still, should be a little bit better, but there's still quite a lot of the glow of sunrise. So if we continue moving down, we will reach a point where, even if they don't go under the horizon, they're not under the horizon here, it is a little bit darker, but they're going to be extincted by a lot more air masses. And that's going to make it more difficult to see them. Even though the glow of sunrise is out of the way, we've now given ourselves a new problem, which is all of the air masses. And of course, closer to the equator, they are that little bit further from a proper occultation as well, as you can see. So this, I think, is this is the only video so far, other than looking forward to Halley's Comet. This is the only video so far where we've looked into the future and really only looked at one event, this occultation of Neptune and Mercury. I do think it was an interesting chance to show off, with a really good example in front of us, how moving around the planet changes your view of the sky, even if it is only a little, even if it is subtle, even though you can ignore it for a lot of more general statements about what's in the sky. For some specific events and stuff like this, you really need to be as exact as possible. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do like it. If you enjoy this kind of content, then please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'd like to see more of me in particular, you can also head to my website and read some of this information at queevinscontent.ie. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time.